Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? My name is Blitzwinger. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new how-to video. And today I'm going to go on ahead and walk you step by step and explain how to level up your characters. Now, the inspiration behind this video is because literally Spider-Man has been out for less than 48 hours, and I've already gotten questions from people as to how in the heck, Blitz, do you have a power level 146 Spider-Man in 2 days? And honestly, I know people are going to think, well, it's probably just playing nonstop. No, I probably have put in maybe 5 hours of gameplay or so for Spider-Man. So it really did not take all that long, and I'm willing to share the secrets of how to get that done as well. So the first thing we're going to do is actually a little bit of setup. So first and foremost, I want to mention that every Thursday when they do the marketplace updates, they tend to give us some free loot in the form of consumables, which is something that you definitely want to go on ahead and collect because it's free and because it'll make this process a whole heck of a lot easier. So the consumables come in 2 different forms. There are fragment consumables called fragment extractors, and then there are XP consumables, which are called Hero Catalyst. Now, I've got 2 of those active. I've got both the Fragment Extractor and the Hero Catalyst active. The nice thing is that it's actually active for your account, so it doesn't matter what character you want to focus on leveling. This will carry over for your account. It is real time or real life time. So keep in mind, as soon as you go on ahead and activate it, from that moment when you've activated it, you have 2 hours to enjoy the perks of this bonus. Now, I know that the focus here is going to be actually on power leveling, because power leveling is really what you're all after, because that really is what it's determining how powerful your character is, how much damage he or she can do, and how much damage he or she can absorb. So you might be wondering, well, why would you want levels? The reason why is because if you're going to be working towards the power levels, you might as well be leveling up as well. And the levels will actually make the process of getting power levels easier, because you'll be unlocking new boosts via your skill points, as well as increases in your specialty, your mastery, and ultimately even your champion rank. So it's just a nice to have. It's not a must have. The Fragments Extractor I actually would suggest to have, because you will need to be doing quite a bit of purchasing. And so it's a good idea to get those extra bonuses to your fragments via that system. Now, the next step in the setup process is that you're going to need to head to any one of the outposts. So, for example, we're in the Shield HQ substation or Zero substation, and you need to find one of these resistance networks. There are a multitude of them available, and what you're going to do is you're going to accept every single one of these missions. In fact, you can see that mine is actually resetting in about 6 minutes from now. And the reason why you want to have all of these selected, make sure you check the second tab as well, is because these are the fastest ways to get yourself polycrons. Polycrons is the resource that you're going to need to max out your character to power level 150. Of course, it's now been increased to 175, but even to get to 175, you need to first reach 150. And the polycrons are going to be the thing that is most difficult to find. So you'll notice, for example, resource-wise, I've got a lot of upgrade modules. I got a ton of fragments, and I certainly do have quite a few DNA keys, but polycrons is the thing that is going to be a nightmare to collect. It really does take a long time to get a lot of polycrons so that you can power up your major artifacts, because that's the one resource that requires polycrons to power up, and you need 10 levels. When you reach power level 9, I believe the next upgrade is going to require close to 200 polycrons. So as you level this up, it'll become more and more difficult. So that's why, again, one of the other setup things that you want to get done is get your resistance network terminal missions activated. Now, for the sake of this, what we'll do is we'll actually pick a character that I don't have such a high level with. So why don't we go with, let's say, Kate Bishop. So we currently have a power level of 98 right here. That's where we're starting. Level 30 and power level 98 is where we begin. So our first step is actually going to run over to our merchants. Keep in mind, of course, there are multiple outposts, and so technically you want to visit the different merchants because they will all offer different loot. And the reason why we want to run to our merchants is because they sell stuff, oftentimes stuff that is going to be more powerful than what we currently have equipped. So unfortunately, because I've already done a little bit of shopping before, a lot of the items have not refreshed yet, but they will be refreshing every 12 hours or so. So in 4 minutes, we'll be able to get some loot. But in the meantime, I do see that there's a better arrow here than the one that we have. So I'm going to go on ahead and actually purchase that. I'm going to go into my hero character. Look in the bottom right corner. You see the equip best gear button prompt. I'm going to hold that down, and that automatically will equip the best version of the items that I currently carry. And what I'll do is I'll actually dismantle the one that is currently existent, and I'm going to get that nice fragment bonus right there. So again, this is why you want to have the fragment boost active, because it'll allow you to gain more value from your recycled items or dismantled items as well. So just like that, we just recouped well over 100 fragments back to our fragment count. So that is great. Now, before I go on ahead and head off to the actual mission placement to explain to you guys how to power rank from there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to visit the other shopkeeper right here, who is Roy. And I'm just going to quickly take a look to see. It looks like he does sell a better sword. So I'm going to grab that for purchase. And everything else is just going to be updated in a little while once the shop refreshes. So I'm going to go on ahead and equip that as well. And just like that, we're already 1 power level higher. Doesn't seem that significant, but just you wait and see how fast this will quicken. Now, keep in mind that what I could do right here is I could go on ahead and then visit the vendor keeper as well. So, for example, I could go on ahead and talk to... sorry, no, not the shield coordinator. Oh, sorry, this was the vendor keeper. So I could have talked to the faction seller as well. And if I want, I could head to the other outpost. So I could head to Hell Carrier, see what's for sale there. I could head over to the Anthill, see what's for sale there. And I could head over to Wakanda and see what's for sale there, which we'll get to in just a moment. But for now, our next course of action, now that we've got all of that set up, ready to rock and roll, we've accepted our Polychron missions, we've gone ahead and accepted or purchased the best possible loot right now, we're ready to head to Wakanda. We're going to head to this mission right here titled Here Comes the Pain, because I, from my experience, have found that this is the most efficient way of power leveling. Now, keep in mind, the explanation behind why we need to equip the best possible loot is because the way that this game functions as far as loot drops are concerned is that it looks at your inventory, what you currently have equipped. So if, in our case, it's going to be a level 100 sword, a level 99 arrow, a level 100 chest plate, and a level 96 badge. And then it will, based on those stats, drop loot. So that means that, for example, if I didn't purchase the level 100 sword, I might have gotten this level 100 sword maybe 5 or 6 drops from now. Whereas by purchasing it now, I am much more likely to receive a drop that is going to be power level 101 or 103 or 102. So I'm basically, by utilizing the merchants, I'm able to go on ahead and pick up the pace at which I am power leveling, which is obviously what we're trying to go on ahead and do in order to get our character powered up as fast and as efficiently as possible. So with that in mind, let's launch the mission, and I'll show you guys the most efficient route to get a lot of chests. And ultimately, the reason why you want to get a lot of chests is because the more chests you open, the more loot you get. The more loot you get, the better loot you get. That's really as simple as it is. So you need to find a mission like this. In my experience, this is the best version of it because you have the corrupted vibraniums that also drop loot. Keep in mind, the corrupted vibranium used to be busted. Like back when Black Panther was just released and the corrupted vibranium dropped for the very first time, you could literally get 3 items from each corrupted vibranium rock, which means that you could literally power up at an insane pace. It's been nerfed to 1 item instead of 3, but it's still pretty darn good. So as soon as you spawn into this mission, you're going to run towards this waterfall. It's very difficult to miss. And this is where you're going to grab your first chest. So we're going to just walk on up, hold to open. And as soon as I get a chest, what I want to do is I want to open up my inventory, or anytime I get an item, and immediately check to see if it's a better item than what I have to equip the best version right away. I can also take a moment to dismantle the one that we just had before and move along. Again, the reason why I want to do that is because I want to let the game know that, hey, I have a better item now, so now please drop better loot for me. I don't want level 96 loot anymore. I want level 97 and above. So that's why you do want to go on ahead and take the time to equip the items as well. Now, this right here was a Vibranium rock, and you want to break the 3 of them. Now, if it's not glowing, like right now it's glowing, so that means I can damage it, but if it has that kind of like ash color, it means that it's actually indestructible in that moment. So don't try to hit it. You're actually going to take damage, and you're going to get knocked back. So keep that in mind. With that in mind, check it out. Bada bing, bada boom. We got ourselves some extra lovely boosts right there. The sword is now level 107, and our arrow is now level 106. And just like that, we have hit power level 101. So you can see just how fast this works. This works incredibly quickly. You see, by equipping the level 107 sword, now I got a level 108 sword. So this is why you also want to make sure that you are taking the time to actually equip the better loot and not just stacking it all in your inventory. Then we're going to drop down, open up another chest. Now, the other nice thing that you'll notice is that we're also getting units, and in this new update for the game, now units actually do matter quite a bit because you can apply them to shipments, which means that you can go on ahead and get random item drops and some really cool exclusive things like this skin right here. So not only are you power leveling, but you're also collecting and harvesting units, which means you're actually getting a whole lot of momentum across the board. You're getting a lot of rewards for going through these particular tasks. Now, once we've completed that chest, we're actually going to make our way across, and what we're going to need to do is a little bit of fighting for the very first time. And the reason why we want to fight here is because what we're trying to do is we're trying to get a reward from the enemy unit that is going to spawn, like the boss unit, which you'll see in a moment once I defeat some of these smaller crawlers here. Oh, actually, I think it's already spawned. Yep, there it is. So this is the boss unit. And we want to defeat this unit because A, it's going to open up a door where there's a chest. So this door right here is locked, and it only opens once you've defeated the boss unit for this little area, or the mini boss. So in this case, it's this guy right here. And the other reason is because the actual boss is going to drop, typically speaking, at least an epic rarity item. But I've oftentimes gotten a legendary rarity item from these guys. So that's why you want to actually fight the unit. Now, also, as you're doing this mission, it won't always be this crawler. It'll be sometimes a different type of enemy. So right there, by the way, that's a legendary item. So if you don't see the crawler, don't worry. It might be like a brute character. Whichever boss it is, defeat them, and then proceed over to this door to get yourself another chest. Once you've opened this one up, take a quick moment to go on ahead and once again equip better loot. Already power level 103. So keep in mind, notice how fast the pace is starting to go as far as our power level is concerned. We're not just power leveling, but we are going quick. And of course, I'm also doing this relatively slowly because I want to explain to you guys how to do this. So if I was doing this typically, I would be going even faster just because I already know my path and where to go, etc. So you can even pick up the pace of this even further. Once I collect that chest across the way, I'm going to go on ahead and go to my next pile of Vibranium rocks. And once again, I'm going to break the ones that are here. So I'm going to check. Bada bing, bada boom. Power level 105 now.
Is that all?
And now I'm going to make my way across to this last and final rock. Sweet. There we go. Fantastic. So I'm going to double check for powers, just like so. Power level 105 still. But one of the things that's kind of holding back our power levels right now are our artifacts, which is fine because the lovely thing is that we can actually go on ahead and purchase artifacts from the vendors. So I'm not too worried about that. So with that in mind, once we've completed that corner of the map, we're going to make our way over to here and intercept Claw's forces. This is going to be another section where you need to do a little bit of fighting. You have to do fighting here if you want to get all the possible loot. There is going to be an upcoming section where you can actually kind of skip the fight if you don't want to, but I suggest to still do it because it's actually pretty rewarding in terms of getting your level up. Now, with that in mind, here we go. Here is our previously mentioned battle. So what I'm going to do is just go on ahead and clear this wave of enemies. This is pretty easy. Keep in mind, also, the other thing I do want to go on ahead and mention is that if you want, and if you have friends that you could go on ahead and queue up with, you could make this process even more efficient, because of course the AIs are okay, like they help you, they'll fight along with you and try to help you against these opponents. But of course, if you have 4 real-life players and you're all playing and you all know what you're doing, you can clear these enemies at an even quicker pace. And so you can be even more efficient about how fast you defeat everything that you run into here. So I do want to mention that as well. Now, the other reason why we want to fight these guys is that, as you saw right there, they will tend to drop loot also. So not only are you getting loot from the chests that we're working towards, but you're also getting loot from actually defeating the enemies, which is fantastic. And of course, ultimately also, don't forget, because we're getting our 1.5x XP from the boost that we activated at the very start of the video, remember? Now we're actually going to go on ahead and level up from all this as well, which allows us to get more powerful via the new skill points that we can equip, that of course allow us to stack our statistics even greater and allow us to do more damage to our foes than before. So I'm just going to clear out these enemies. And again, the reason why we have to fight these guys is because, similarly to the previous area where we fought the mini boss fight, they actually open up a door that is locked back here. So this door right here was locked until we didn't defeat that entire wave. So now we can go on ahead and grab that. There's some more units again, which is wonderful. And now what I'm going to do is actually make my way up before I leave. And this is where you can get another chest. Now, this will not always have this little computer here. If it doesn't have the computer and it just looks like a broken surface, what you need to do is take a character that has super strength and then heavy attack this wall. It doesn't have to be you. It could be your teammate. And if you don't have a teammate, you could always just press, like, ping this area and then they'll break it for you. So hopefully that is helpful as well. Now, we're lucky that in this version, it's just a little computer. So we open that up and we get this chest right here, which, by the way, will give us 50 units. So this chest is a lot more valuable. Okay, for some reason that time it did not. There it is. There are the units. Okay. I was worried. I'm like, where are my units? So keep in mind, this is really cool because that means if I open this chest 10 times, if I do this quick little task here 10 times, that means I get myself a free shipment. So it's a really wonderful way to farm for shipments as well. Okay, so with that chest opened up, we're now going to get back on track. This is the same path that we took before. Remember, we opened that chest right there. And what we're going to do is, before we continue onwards, we're actually going to take a left turn right here, open this chest, so yet another chest. Check if it's any better than what we currently have. It is not. I'm actually going to take a moment to dismantle this because I tend to notice that it's better to have your inventory clear. I don't know how accurate it is, whether or not the game actually does that, but I tend to notice that if your inventory is clear, I tend to get a little bit luckier as far as the quality of the loot in terms of its power level improves. So we're going to dismantle all these spares. And now this is the optional portion of the fight. So when these guys spawn in, you don't have to fight these guys. If you want, technically, you could just exit the mission and then rinse and repeat this mission over and over again at your own leisure and just do that, because there is not a whole lot of benefit to fighting these guys. They very rarely will actually drop any loot. So you're not going to be gaining power levels necessarily from fighting these guys. What you could gain is, of course, XP. And that's why I do actually recommend to do this fight, because they give a pretty generous amount of XP. Completing the level gives you a pretty generous amount of XP. And ultimately, by completing the level instead of just, or completing the mission, instead of just quitting and resetting it over and over again, you actually do get a reward as well in the form of another item that tends to be pretty good and tends to be an item of a power level that you do not have. Okay. So we defeat the enemies. Usually that goes a lot smoother. I don't know why that was so difficult, but again, right there, we got ourselves the level up, which is fantastic because, of course, now I can equip an extra skill point in addition to our power levels improving. Now, once again, what you could do right now is go on ahead and rinse and repeat that same mission over and over again. But personally, what I would recommend is after you've done a couple of run-throughs for the mission, I would then go on ahead and actually travel to an outpost of your choice. So first of all, we're going to go on ahead and actually equip one of our skill points here. Fantastic. And what you're going to do is you're going to pick whichever outpost you want to visit. So you can go on ahead and head to the anthill. You can head to Wakanda, wherever you'd like to go. So for example, for the sake of this, we're going to head over to, let's go to Wakanda. Why not? We were just there for this mission. We're going to head back there once again to the outpost. And what we're going to do is, as soon as we arrive, right as you land, you're going to turn left, as you'll see in just a moment. And that's where you're going to do a little bit of shopping. So we're going to go on ahead and run over here. Looks like our shipments have been refreshed, which is nice. So we're going to talk to this guy. And right off the bat, look at that. So the loot has been improved. Now, I'm going to pay attention up here as well. And the way that you know which loot belongs to which character is by the little insignia in the corner. So this obviously belongs to Spider-Man. That belongs to Black Panther. This is to Ms. Marvel. That's for the Hulk. That's Thor. And this right here is for Kate Bishop. Now, this one right here is unfortunately no good for us, but fortunately enough, this one is a fantastic boost, so we're going to get that. We're also going to go on ahead and buy this in order to boost further. So we're going to bring up our inventory, unlock those boosts, and dismantle once again the extras while still benefiting from our fragments boost, so that is lovely. Then we're going to bring this up again, and you'll see that it refreshed and now showing us different loot. So we're going to go on ahead and now unlock a better chest plate as well, and equip that, of course. That takes our power level to 109, just like so. So I'm going to go on ahead and dismantle that. So by the way, that's 11 power levels already. And again, if I wanted to go on ahead and move faster, we could obviously get even faster mobility done here as well. I don't know why the game is so adamant about me checking the shipments, but I guess there we go. We checked them. And we're going to check the sword, which is actually worse quality than what we currently have. So with that all out of the way, what we're going to do now is we're not done yet. What we'll do is we'll actually travel. Let's head over to the anthill, shall we? So that's going to be another outpost stop on our adventure. So we're going to go on ahead and head over to our war table. And we're going to head for the Utah Badlands and travel to the outpost of the Anthill. Now, again, where you want to travel here, it's up to you. There's no right or wrong here. It's you want to go to the substation, go to the substation. You want to go to the helicarrier, go to the helicarrier. Whatever you want to choose is whatever you want to choose, you know? I would just, again, recommend to visit the shopkeepers because this is how you're actually going to pick up the pace at which you're increasing levels. So right as we arrive, check it out. We got some swords here for sale. Unfortunately, none of them seem to be any better than what we currently have. So that's a bit of a bummer. So would have been lovely if that was the case. Sometimes it does help to buy an item. Like, for example, if I buy this and then I head over to my inventory, I could go on ahead and even dismantle this and then check the shop again. And sometimes he will refresh this and have something else available instead, or you'll notice some better loot up here. Unfortunately, that was not the case this time. So obviously there's an element of luck involved on that side of things. But the other thing we're going to do is actually run over to our vendor here, the faction vendor, Maddie Cho, and we're going to talk to her. And check it out. She's got the crystals that we need, which is wonderful because these are a whole heck of a lot stronger than what we currently have equipped. So we're going to buy the two most powerful ones. I'm actually going to equip one and then double check. You see that? So it refreshed with an even better item at power level 117. So that's why you want to buy those in succession. Buy one, the most powerful, equip it, and then go back in the shop again. So again, these are all the little tips and tricks that I'm sharing with you guys to make sure that you're leveling up as fast as possible. Power level 115 already. I'm going to double check to see if she has anything better available. She now sells actually a better sword than what she had for sale just a moment ago. And by the way, check it out. Even the crystal has gotten better. So I'm going to go on ahead and actually buy the better sword. Just like that, we're now at power level 116. So that's 18 power levels gained already. Bada beam, bada boom. And of course, if I had enough polycrons, I could also be powering that up at the same time. I'm going to check once again to double check that there's nothing here any better. I don't see anything better. Now, of course, don't forget these. Since they updated for me, I will accept all these missions again to complete my polycron tasks now. Because again, I will need my polycrons for boosting this right here. And currently, of course, I don't have quite enough to actually get that unlocked. But this is pretty much the formula. I hope this helps. I really hope that this video brings you some help in getting your characters powered up very quickly. Again, what I would suggest is visit the shopkeepers every maybe 3 or 4 missions that you've completed with the Here Comes the Pain. So for the most part, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be playing that Here Comes the Pain Vibranium mission over and over again. But then every now and again, you want to take a break and go to the outpost, buy more powerful gear that will typically jump you up 3, 5. Sometimes you saw like these crystals were 17 power levels higher, so that then you really start to gain a lot of momentum. I hope this was helpful. If it was, don't forget to smash that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't yet, turn on your notifications, and of course, guys, special thank you to all of our members. Thank you guys so very much for supporting the channel. If you'd like to support the channel by becoming a member of the Blitzwinger YouTube channel, there's a link down in the description. Thank you so very much for watching. Have an absolutely fantastic day. Peace out. See you later, alligators. Bye-bye, everybody.